This is a fan-generated show. If you'd like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our new Rumble channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, the heart of Australian darkness and the fight to reignite democracy. With us this evening, Monica Smit, the Managing Director of Reignite Democracy Australia. Monica, welcome to the Glazov Gang.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to speak to America. I traveled there a lot and I loved it.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to have you. We want to keep focusing on Australia because it's become some kind of surreal, horrific North Korean gulag. And it's almost unbelievable what we're hearing and seeing. So we want to get the dissidents and the truth tellers in Australia to tell us what's going on there. Now, recently we had a hero by the name of Morgan Jonas that came on our show to tell us what's going on there. Monica, it looks like Australia has turned into some kind of prison island, and you are trying to reignite democracy in your country with a special organization you've started. Tell us what's going on.
What's going on right now in Victoria is something that's new since you spoke to Morgan, is playgrounds are closed. So not only are children not allowed to go to school, but they're now not allowed to go to playgrounds either. So it's just going from craziness to craziness. And the good thing about that is that people are starting to lose their patience with these premiers, which I would say are pretty close to being dictators, and they're enjoying it a little bit too much. So that's the good thing about them pushing people too far. It really does create a big awakening for people. So a lot of people that, went along with the narrative 6 months ago are not going along with it anymore. So that's the positive side of it. But yeah, it's really strange to be here. I have over 60,000 audience members and I have a 1-800 number. So we get lots of calls. At the moment, you're not even allowed to cross the border of New South Wales to Queensland without proving that you are vaccinated. That's right. Truck drivers, anyone. I have a lady who has a horse on one side of the state line and she can't even go feed her horse. So we had to organise for someone else to do it for her because she has to prove her vaccination. So it's going quite mental here.
Horrific. Monica, now I always want to be careful. I'm not imposing my views or speaking for you. This is just my views, but I just put them on the table and then you take what you would like and to say. As a Christian, I see a spiritual battle here. And, Satan, he's not just like this evil guy that's just always doing blatant evil things. What I mean by that is there's always some kind of very sick perversion going on. And so yes, whenever we have communism, Nazism, or we see jihad, we see these totalitarian regimes and ideologies go at children. So it's not surprising to me at all that this new totalitarian ideology is going at children, as you've described and are telling us. But it's also all this weirdness all the time too. So I just watched this video of this guy in Australia. Maybe you can give me the details. He's an authority. I think his name might have been Daniel Andrews, but I might be incorrect. But it's this guy talking about how even outside now, if you're going to drink a beer or drink anything, you have to drink it through your mask. Did I dream this or this is true?
So last weekend, we were in lockdown with a 5-kilometre curfew and masks everywhere and a 5-kilometre limit of boundary, not a curfew. And there was an outdoor pub crawl organised. So it was, bars put their cocktail gear outside of their bar. So it was all outside. And they organised like a little round. People would go from bar to bar and have a cocktail. So it was social distancing. People were wearing masks when they weren't drinking the cocktails. And Daniel Andrews, who is the Victorian Premier, so mine, he didn't like that. He didn't like that people kind of found a way around the system to still have fun and still support local businesses. He didn't like that. So he kind of got on this defensive, like a child throwing a tantrum, and was like, you can't do that. You can't drink alcohol through a mask anymore. And then one of the journalists followed up a question with the chief health officer, Brett Sutton, and they said, oh, what about water and coffee? Are we allowed to take our masks off to drink those? And he was like, well, we just hope that people just do their best, So then all these videos came out of people trying to drink beer through a mask, which was quite...
Just wait, Monica, this Daniel Andrews, he's a premier?
Yes.
Okay. And so he's against people lifting taking the mask down and drinking, but he supports drinking through the mask.
I feel like maybe it was a slip up on his behalf because it's so obviously impossible and ridiculous, but he said it and he stands by it. So yes, he's against that.
Right. Wait, he's also against drinking through the mask? Just no drinking at all? Or it's okay to drink but through the mask?
Yeah, it's okay to drink but through the mask.
Through the mask. Okay. So Monica, I've done quite a bit of research on you. You're an amazingly heroic, courageous person. You guys the Australians are being told you will be punished, stay off the streets, there will be severe consequences. But in your bravery, you still go out, you still attend freedom rallies, and you have been, I think one could say, persecuted by the police. Tell us a bit of your experiences at the hands of the authorities.
Well, it all started last October 31st was my first encounter with police. So at the time we needed to have permits, papers, yes. So I had a proper permit. I've got a registered business and I'm a street journalist. So I had all the appropriate paperwork and I went to an event. And to be honest, I really didn't expect any problems because of all the stuff I had with me. But they asked me to move on. And I said, well, you can't ask me to move on because I'm not actually deterring peace. I'm not obstructing traffic. I'm not tying myself to a tree. I'm a journalist. I've got my cameraman right here, my security guard right here. Like, I'm not moving on. So they arrested me. Then they processed me and then they asked me to move on again. And I said no again. So they arrested me again and they put me in the back of a police van.
This is, Monica, this is on the same day? They're arresting you on the same day? Yes,
that's correct. So then I went into a police van for 45 minutes with my hands cuffed behind my back, mind you. And, I was obviously quite distraught at the time. I'm a strong person, but I was just sad at what was happening. Like, why would they do this to me? So I was, if you can imagine the picture, I was crying a little bit and, my hands were behind my back. I couldn't even wipe my own eyes. So it was pretty crazy. And then after 45 minutes, they let me out. And they said, no worries. So that's obviously false imprisonment. But anyway, that's beside the point. So then we proceeded to actually have an event with 10 people, which is what was allowed at the time. And everyone was socially distanced. Hundreds of police and horses surrounded the group of 10 people that were socially distancing. And over a speaker, they asked us to put our hands behind our head to be arrested and processed. Now, I decided that I wasn't going to put my hand on my head because I'm not a criminal. So they surrounded me and Morgan. It's quite a moment, I guess. And they brutally arrested Morgan and he got injured from that. And then when the port team, which is these police dressed in black, and they just come at you and it's like a snake with a tongue. It's just like, they just like grab people. Yeah. And they came at me and I looked at them and I said, are you sure you want to arrest me? I'm a journalist. And they stopped in their tracks and they didn't brutally arrest me, which was good. But the a woman officer said, put your hands on your head, put your hands on your head. And I said, no, I'm not putting my hands on my head. So they did arrest me, but nicely. They processed me, gave me a $1,000 fine for being in a group larger than 10, even though I was a journalist and had all the papers to prove it. So that was my experience then. Since then,
Just a sec. You got arrested 3 times in one day?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to go on just a sec. I want to hear it. Monica, if this was a Black Lives Matter demonstration, do you think this would have happened to you at the hands of the police?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so go on. I think you wanted to say something else.
Well, since then, I've only been arrested once more nicely. But yes, I do go to the protests, and there is, I mean, obviously we've learned how to kind of stay away from being arrested, but we've had to watch a lot of people getting arrested, women, elderly people, children got pepper sprayed. You know, my dad was praying the rosary in one of the protests, and they snatched his rosary beads and grabbed him and took him away. So I think what you're saying about, you know, the spiritual battle between good and evil, when you see that sort of thing happening, it really is shocking. And you realize that there are some people that are just in it for the money, but there are some people that are actually just evil. And we see that here, unfortunately, at every event, even the big ones. There are some really great times where there's music and everyone's having a great time. But when it gets near to the end and the numbers dwindle, the police are absolutely brutal. It's tyranny. It's absolute communism. You can't even explain it. Even the footage, it's just when you're there and you see this 5'0" businesswoman who's crying that she's lost everything, being arrested by 9 fully grown men, it's heart-wrenching. I can't explain it.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a minute to go to our sponsors. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I recently got one of Mike Lindell's pillows and comforters at mybillow.com, and I started getting some of the most restful sleeps in my life. And you can do the same. Go to mypillow.com and use code GG21 to get incredible and amazing discounts. Or just call 1-800-854-0673. While you're doing that, you'll know that you're supporting Mike Lindell, a true American hero fighting a true American cause. And you'll also be supporting the Glazov Gang. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Well, Monica, I mean, you know, protesting for Black Lives Matter and just to tear the society down, defund the police, that's understandable, but saying the rosary to Jesus' mother, I mean, they've really got to stop that. You know, this is just getting out of control. Monica, you are fighting back, and you've started this organization, Reignite Australian Democracy, and you almost have 60,000 members now. Tell us about this fight for freedom in your country.
Well, actually, since I emailed you, we're now up to 62,000 subscribers. So I was preparing from the very beginning to be kicked off Facebook. So I was collecting emails from the beginning, which was thank God, because I have been kicked off Facebook. So 62,000 members. We have a business directory for like-minded people to support like-minded businesses. We've got an app coming, and we also, the most rewarding thing I think we've done is organize for like-minded people to, congregate in communities. So we've got 90 community groups all around Australia, and they, a lot of them are there just for the socializing aspect, but a lot of them are there to be active. So we do lots of letterbox drops, and we outreach to businesses, and we even do support stuff if people need someone to come and help them with their housework or something, or feed their horse or feed their dog because they're stuck over a border. So those community groups are probably the most impactful thing I think what we've done. But we just provide a lot of news information. We do interviews so that's what we've created, and it's never gone backwards. It's getting stronger and stronger every day. The mainstream media is obviously trying to make us out to be right-wing extremists because, freedom is now apparently, a Nazi idea, which is, anyway.
Wait, let me guess. Can I take a guess? You're white supremacists, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm right. That, and I'm a Nazi, and I'm all these terrible things, which I'm trying to fight against, actually, which is ironic. Yeah. But
I've heard that there were some people playing basketball and there were helicopters flying around screaming at them to get home. This was a really emergency situation, right?
Yeah, that happened. And also, like people on the beach were also hovered over by a helicopter. People have been forcefully removed from their homes to go into hotel quarantine. All that sort of stuff has happened. And the footage is going quite viral on TikTok and things like that, which I think is really great. The younger people are starting to not enjoy this at all. So it is exactly as crazy as you think it is here. Yeah.
Monica, is this about a virus or is it about something else?
If it was about a virus, then I feel like they would be looking at more of the evidence to prove that, lockdowns don't actually work, and trying to go for this zero cases situation. It doesn't work. It's never worked around the world. So I think it seems to me that they are using the fear of the virus to obviously get people vaccinated. That's pretty much what they're doing at the moment with the lockdowns. They're saying all over the media, the only way out of lockdowns is to get 80% vaccination rate in Australia. So if you're someone who wants to get back to normal life, if you think getting the vaccination is going to help you get there, then it's quite coercive to do that. No, I don't think it's ever been. Maybe it was about a virus at the very beginning, maybe. But then they made so many mistakes and they didn't want to admit their mistakes. So they've just steamrolled ahead regardless of the proof. And now it's just a game for them, I think. I don't know. It's very strange. It's mentally disturbing and evil, like you said. The states are having competitions with each other on how draconian they can be. It's like a tennis match on, I'll put in a 9 p.m. curfew. Oh, no, I'll put in an 8 p.m. curfew. I've got helicopters. I've got drones. I've got the army. They're just playing games with each other and we're all being affected because of it. And it's terrible to watch.
Well, Monica, the Glazov Gang's position is that this was a plan from the very beginning and it's a globalist takeover. Before we go, Monica, some people hide, some people don't want to enter the battle, some people want to keep a low profile, stay under the radar, and then there's brave dissidents who fight for freedom. What makes you one of those people?
I think the simple answer is that everyone has a different state in life and we're all born different. God makes us have different skills for different reasons. If I was a mother, for example, with 3 children, I probably wouldn't have the time to do all this. But, God kept me single for this long for a reason. And now I have the time to do it. But secondly, my bloodline is, my grandma hid Jews in her basement in Holland. My dad's very courageous. And I was just brought up not watching the mainstream media. I've thought about this a lot. It's a really good question. What makes us different from the everyday person? I actually don't think we're special. I think that we just don't watch mainstream media. It's that simple. I think it's that simple. Yeah.
Well, and you've got a freedom fighter in your genes as well, and some other reasons. Monica, before we go, there's an individual by the name of Morgan Jonas fighting for freedom in Australia. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you gave a report card of how he's doing, 10 being the best, 1 being the least, what would you give the report card? What would you put on it?
Well, if I was a teacher, I would say 9.9 because no one's perfect. How's that?
All right, just asking. He was on our show. He seems like he's doing a great job for freedom. Monica, before we go, we've got lots of people watching right now, very inspired by you and would like to help you. Where can people go to help you and see what you're up to?
Yeah, well, the website, reignitedemocracyaustralia.com.au. We do our updates on there like it would be a Facebook page every day. And we have a social media network within there. And you can look at what we're doing. We have some resources. It might not be so applicable for America, but it might give some Americans some ideas. And I would love to replicate what we've designed here in America. So if someone is interested in taking on that, that would be fantastic.
Is it true that you're also formed a political party?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes. So with the help of other people on the committee, we formed a political party and we're about 3 to 4 weeks away from being officially registered. We have 950 members already and a few policies out. So yeah, I didn't want to get involved in politics at all. Like I really did not. I searched for other political parties to align with, but I just found something just not quite right with all of them. So I just thought I'm going to have to do it myself because these 62,000 people are waiting to hear who I think that maybe they should vote for. So I thought, why not just do it myself? I don't want to run personally, but I just would be.
Okay, fantastic. So it's a new political party, but you're not the leader of it.
No, I'm not. It is called RDA Party though. So it's called Reignite Democracy Australia Party, but I'm the vice president.
Vice president. Okay, before we go, Monica, final words of wisdom?
Final words of wisdom. I just put out a post 5 minutes ago and I said, if after 18 months, if you're not ready to stand up, when will you be ready? That is one message. But also a message of hope is that sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. Like when you're organizing a bedroom or something, it always gets messier before it gets better. And I think that we are kind of in the thick of it right now. It could get a little bit worse, but I really think that they want to break the freedom fighters mentally as much as they possibly can, because if you feel like you can't win, then you're already defeated. So my message is that to win, we need to be hopeful, even if we feel like we're not. So trick your mind into being hopeful and positive and seeing the positive side of everything, because that's going to keep you strong for when the crunch time is. And I think the crunch time is coming really soon. So you must stay positive. If you are not positive and hopeful, how will you be able to encourage others to fight as well? That would be my last message.
Those are golden words, Monica. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the Glazov Gang. Thank you for being such an inspiring beacon of light for the world and for freedom. Thank you for your courage and nobility. We love you and wish you all the best, okay?
Thank you so much. See you later.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Monica Smit, Managing Director of Reignite Democracy Australia. Go to reignitedemocracyaustralia.com.au and support their battle for freedom. We'll see you soon on the Glazov Gang.
Welcome to my artist studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. While you're there, make sure to use promo code GLAZOV. You will get yourself a wonderful discount, and generous portion of your purchase will be donated to Glazov Gang channel on YouTube, so the one and only wonderful Dr. Jamie Glazov can keep on fighting for our freedom.